Should we just like hit record?
I'm doing it.
Okay, awesome. Okay, we might have to like speed up here because we have like a pretty full house today. So good thing, but like unfortunately we gotta speed up. Natasha, you're next. Natasha?
By the way, if people have ideas for whoever is talking about like how to test it, like Safed, I think put them in chat. Like throw your how you would validate people's ideas.
Okay, Natasha's not on. Fajar? Is Fajar online?
Oh, here.
Okay, you're up.
Okay,
Hey.
Thank you. Okay, I'm Fajar from Digital Rank. What we do in Indonesia is we have a mission to create better business ecosystem for smallholder cattle farmers in Indonesia. Why? Because 80% farmers don't understand how to get better price. So we help them to solve their cattle with our e-commerce, so they can have a better price, and we increasing their knowledge with our farm as a software, so they can improve their productivity to meet the requirement in the slaughterhouse. And we process the cattle to the standard, so we can channeling the beef to the more higher market. Not just in Indonesia, there's a lot of middlemen. They come to the smallholder cattle farmer and bidding a lower price, but they cannot have what is it, a power. So with our e-commerce, we can help them to reach the better customer with the better price, and with our size they can have a knowledge to get a better knowledge to improve their production.
Okay, I feel like you're actually pitching like 3 different ideas. So please pick one of them. Like, is it like farmer productivity? Is it this better price thing? Maybe the better price thing. How does the better prices that you like? How do you get the better prices?
I cut some of several supply chain. So I cut some of the middlemen in the.
Yep. Okay. I mean, it just sounds like you're the middleman now. So, I mean, literally all you can do if you want to figure that out is then just go to the cattle farmers and try to sell their supply of cattle. You can just do it through WhatsApp. It doesn't seem to me like you need like website or anything for that. Like you literally can just like try to sell their stuff, right? At like lower rates. You can eventually build a product that's like not a big deal, but like you can actually just do this without building any products, right? I'm sure you have some cattle farmers already.
Yes.
Okay. And you know how much they have to sell it through the middleman, right? Then basically, I think you can just like do it for like less than that, and then like figure out what the problems are with that and see if like they really care about that. So if you can do it for a cheaper cost than they're currently doing it, and they all want to use you because of that, then the game becomes just like, okay, how do you actually deliver that at the lower cost? So maybe, okay, Madhu's trying to get me to go faster. The thing I'm trying to figure out, the thing you want to figure out is, do people want the thing that you deliver, right? So
Yes.
you can cheat by delivering that thing even at eating the cost or doing whatever or hacking whatever you need to do. And if lots of people want to do that, then all you need to figure out is how do you actually deliver that at some reasonable scale. But the first thing you want to figure out is, do people want it or not, right? So like just try to kind of, if your whole thing is I can sell this at lower cost, then start selling it at lower cost. Then if people all want to sign up and you find that all the cattle farmers are coming to you and signing up and all that, then you figure out how to actually do it, which is probably building some website where they can list and they can kind of do all that stuff. If it is just listing though, you could actually just make like a Airtable like gallery and just post it there, and then just get all the other farmers to look at that and then just like buy from there. So you can do some no code way to kind of like list it. But yeah, that's how I would think about it.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you. Say hi to your kids.
Okay, Ahmad Zed, you're next.
Okay, hi, I'm from Singapore. So the idea that I have is something like a coursework for the subject of life. It's like a life coursework. So The problem I'm trying to solve is that some young Singaporeans, they are job hopping. So they tried jobs for 1-2 years, then they realize it's not for them, but then they try another job, then not for them. So actually, it all goes back to understanding who they are and what is it they really want to do in life. So the idea of the coursework is to really just provide these guiding questions or guiding like topics for them to eventually find out who they really are. Of course, it can be complemented by having a one-to-one coaching, but the idea is just to provide a simple coursework that they can follow through.
Okay. So, sorry, you're just seeing if people, okay, they finish the coursework and then what?
Then they get a bit more clarity on essentially what kind of career that they want to do. So like, some people graduate with accounting degree, they get into a job, they realize it's not something for them. And then they learn through experiments, but there's not a lot of guidance on to help you experiment better.
How is this a business though? Do you charge people for it?
Yeah. So it's like, the idea is, of course, definitely to get them on a one-to-one coaching.
Okay.
Like
Got it.
session, yeah. But I was thinking of providing some form of like coursework that they can try out first to see whether there's something that they want to explore.
Sorry, is the coursework the business or the one-on-one coaching the business?
Good question. Let's take the one-on-one coaching then.
Okay, so if the one-on-one coaching is the business, then I think all you have to do is basically like, okay, here's how you can actually test both. If you think that the coursework is just lead generation for the one-on-one business, then what you do is do the coursework. It seems like you have a target demographic already. You could buy Instagram ads, paid ads, whatever, drive them at the coursework. Then at the end of every coursework, have them be like, do you want to meet with a one-on-one coach or whatever? And ask them if they're willing to do that. Then the trick with that is ask them to pay right then on the spot, right? And honestly, if people start paying, you can find one-on-one, like if you just have like one friend who does one-on-one coaching, just have them there. And then basically anybody that says yes, you just point them over to this, right? But you could start with just like one friend who does this and start charging. And look, by the way, you could actually do it even if you don't have a friend, because you just want to see if people will pay. So I've done a lot of experiments where I've like run stuff. I've had people pay, even though I don't have any of the products and I don't have any of the people working on it. I just refund everybody. It's fine. The thing I care about is not actually the money. I just need to know that people like would pay for this, right? So set up the coursework, drive traffic to that website, have a link at the end of the coursework that is like a Stripe payments thing. See how many people pay. Like if you could tell me, hey, I got 1,000 people to my website, 100 of them finished the coursework and 10 of them paid, I'd be like, interesting, right? You could also start another landing page that is just the coaching, like no coursework, drive them straight to coaching. That will also help validate whether the coursework is worth it or not. So if you get more people to pay through the coaching without the coursework, screw the coursework.
All right.
So.
Okay, awesome. Hsu Ken, you're next.
Yes. Hi, so my name is Shen and I'm from Greeneries. And Greenery is a smart nature-based air purifier that is carbon capturing and kills VOCs that are delaying cognitive function and chronic illnesses. So the problem is that we spend 16 to 20 hours a day indoors, and that's 90% of our lives. But indoor air is 2 to 5 times more polluted than air outside. And that means delayed cognitive function and greater risk of cancer and lung diseases. So therefore, Greenery uses technology to supercharge plants and microbes to make them 10 times more effective than conventional air purifiers.
Who's your target market?
So right now we're targeting businesses, offices, hospitality, and hospitals. Then
I think, so you want to be able to, if you want to validate, you want to be able to narrow it down, right? It could be everybody at all at one point, but typically for validation, you want to figure out who of those 3 people have the like biggest need, right? And so Iterative doesn't have an office, which Madhu hates, but let's say we had an office and I wanted to use your product. Like, how do I use it? Is it like an air purifier and I put it in my?
Yes, so it's a air purifier. It's a product. Yes.
Okay, got it. Okay, so a couple things. You could just do direct sales. So LinkedIn outreach is actually really great for this, everybody. Okay, I'm going to give away secrets that we give away to keep people on our batch. LinkedIn outreach is really great, and you can do DMs here. It's a little expensive, but if you guys have like, I don't know, I forget how much LinkedIn Sales Navigator
it's like 80 plus bucks a month.
Oh, that's not that bad. Okay, $80 a month, you basically get LinkedIn Sales Navigator. LinkedIn Sales Navigator makes it so that you can add all these filters around like only people who have this title with a company that's less than 20 employees, whatever. You can add them to a sales list, and then you can use a program, which is not LinkedIn doesn't want you to use, but maybe we use it and maybe our companies use it. It's called Alfred, but it automates outreach. So you can you can get LinkedIn Sales Navigator, target all the B2B people that you're looking for, who's the right person, add them to a list, run Alfred. Alfred will automatically add each of them through your account. And then if they accept, it will send a message on your behalf. So actually a lot of our B2B companies use this as a tactic and have done really well. And then you can just start seeing like, okay, who responds, get on calls with them and just try to sell to them. So you can kind of just like do it that way. Do you already have a product or the product doesn't exist yet?
Yes, we have a product that's ready. We're piloting it in some schools.
Okay, then that's pretty straightforward. Then I think just try to do direct sales, do this LinkedIn thing, try to see if you can get people in. If you're having a hard time convincing people, what I would do is just be like, hey, you know what? You don't have to pay me right now. I'll put the product in your office for a week. At the end of the week, if you want to keep using it, you got to pay me. But if you don't, let me know, right? And that's a good way for you to kind of like just test, right? If you find out that you gave your product to 20 companies and after a week, they all paid you, you're probably onto something, right? If none of them paid you, okay, you got to rethink it a little bit, right? And so I think use the LinkedIn to reach out to companies, then kind of try to give them this offer, to give them these projects, and then kind of see how they do. You probably have some friends that run offices too, so you could try that first, but LinkedIn, you can do it kind of like in mass.
Right.
And it actually has all the statistics of like how many people you reached out to, how many accepted, and how many replied. And so it actually is a good way to like start working the funnel. So anyway.
Nice. Sounds great. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Okay, Rabia, you're next.
Hi, my name is Rabia Ganathra. I'm based in Karachi, Pakistan. I'm a school teacher by profession, and my idea stems from the time when I used to go shopping for my little girl, and I used to see I felt they were very sexist messages on little girls' clothing. It would say, hello there, or let's go shopping and party time. And I usually used to go to the boys section and pick out stuff that said genius on the very front. So
good for you.
Yeah. So my idea was to create a cartoon character of a little girl. She is literally called Little Girl, so she embodies everything. And she's able to represent everybody. She's under 5 years old, and she is a visual representation of everything that girls are told that they cannot do, and they do, including slaying dragons and being your own knight in shining armor. I want to be able to create merchandise around it and be able to make money off of selling that merchandise. The idea of it seems very good and it appeals to a lot of people, but I don't know how to market it in a way that it would bring me money too.
Are you an artist or are you not an artist? Like
I'm not an artist, so I'll have to collaborate with somebody.
Cool, no problem. I don't think you actually need to build, I don't think you need to make any of the products in order to start selling the products or seeing if people want the products. So for example, if you have an artist that you're working with who can do illustrations and stuff, you can actually just like hire freelance graphic designers to make images of the character on t-shirts and hats, make a Shopify website, sell those images on there, and basically like see if people want to buy them, right? And if enough people want to buy them, you can actually make them and send them to them, right? And if not enough people want to buy them, just refund everybody's money, send them an email and tell them sorry, right?
And then that's it, that would work?
Yeah, why not? People don't know you don't have the t-shirts. You just make it look like you have the t-shirts. And then you find out if people want the t-shirts. And if people want the t-shirts, you make the t-shirts. And if they don't, you don't make them, right?
Okay, it's simpler than I thought it would be.
Yeah, I mean, oftentimes it's kind of like this kind of stuff is, right? And look, you can, I think people were talking about it, but on your website, you can tell the story of them, you can do all that stuff. But the thing that's expensive about what you're trying to do is actually making the t-shirts and then getting stuck with 500 t-shirts that nobody wants, right? But yeah, you can actually just sell the t-shirts first, right?
Cool.
We got some great recommendations in the chat, so I'm just going to read them out. Yeah. So someone said, you could do it through a crowd funding platform. So that's for like Kickstarter, But someone else's idea was actually, I think, pretty interesting. Like, so you could collab with one of these illustrators and start like a Instagram page. So there are a lot of like Instagram cartoon or comic pages, and that could be like the start, which I thought was
going
great.
to be our first step. Yeah, that was going to be our first step to start selling the idea of this character first.
Yeah, and people that start stuff, I mean, you can start selling through Instagram. You can kind of just like run ads. There's like lots of stuff that you can do here. But I think making the t-shirts is like the last thing you actually need to do, right? You can build the following.
That's what I was concerned about.
Yeah, the last thing you need to do. You can get people to pre-order. That was the simple thing that somebody was mentioning in here. Just get them to pre-order.
Cool. Thank you.
Awesome. Next is Ryan Chua.
Hello. Okay, so I'm Ryan from Santan Tech, and what we're doing is e-commerce procurement for SMEs in the construction and hardware industry in the Philippines. The problem is that these SMEs, they're very pen and paper in all their operations. So this costs them time in like calling suppliers, asking for their prices, and prices fluctuates all the time. So how we're trying to solve this is we're gonna create a platform where we'll connect the suppliers and manufacturers with the SMEs, so that these SMEs can group by their orders and get their prices for cheaper, and at the same time have like a real-time number of prices. Then we'll also add like some digital tools to make it more digitalized, since they're very pen and paper. Yeah, that's it.
Oh, I think this one, okay, unless I'm misunderstanding, I think this one's pretty straightforward. I feel like I should give names to all these validation things. This is a total Wizard of Oz, Wizard of Oz validation thing. Like by Wizard of Oz, I mean, I don't think you need an app. I don't think you need any of that kind of stuff. All you're doing is sharing information, right?
Yeah.
And so you are the wizard, you are the guy behind the sheet that makes it look like it's happening kind of automatically, but nothing's happening automatically, right? Because you can get the prices from one side and you can share it with the other side, right? And you can make even like an Airtable or no code thing where you're just updating the prices and the numbers in real time and then having people look at those.
Okay.
Right? Like your product, public service announcement for everybody. Your product is almost never the software that you are writing, right? Like your product is not the software. The software is how you deliver the product, which is information kind of like real time and transparent, right? So you can deliver that without software. You can do that with like, you know, put that on Airtable, put that in a spreadsheet. Like you can do a bunch of stuff. And look, you're not going to get people to enter a spreadsheet, but you can just WhatsApp them, right? And then have them enter the price. And I've built some hacks in the past where literally I use Twilio. I send a mass SMS to all the people. I just ask them what the prices are. They write the price back, and then I just put that into a spreadsheet, and then I send it to the other side.
Okay. Okay, awesome. I'll try this out. Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay, next we have got Kurt. Is Kurt there? Kurt Gutierrez. Going once, going twice. Okay, sold. Next person, Adi. Adi Paisos Petra. No.
Well, I'm glad you're saying these names and not me.
Kylie Chim. Is Kylie there? Okay. Saiful Nizam.
Hi.
All right, you're next. Go for it.
Thanks, Madhu. Hi, Hsu Ken.
Hey.
And also everyone that is building IoT. If you are building IT application, do you ever wish that you can cut like half of your coding so that you can really write what really matters? And do you want your device to be able to connect to any cloud, you know, like AWS or Azure, with just a single click of a button? Because if you do, then meet Newco IoT platform. We provide SDK that you can download and install to your device, and also API that can interact with the device so that you can build your own apps. So we are like a platform as a service for IoT in the IoT space.
Are you live?
Yeah.
Okay. Then I think if you're live already and you've already kind of built everything.
We still have our MVP. We are building more features.
Okay. So I always think about this for people on the call. If you have like a product that's already kind of working, validation almost turns into like, can you grow or not? right? Like if customers can use your product already, like to me, I think of validation ideas earlier as in like, hey, I don't have a product, I just have an idea. I'm trying to figure out if it's like a good idea or not. In your case, you've actually like built a thing already, right? So in your case, the real validation just comes from like, are people using it or not, right? So to me, and you know, if you know, tens of thousands of people are using your thing already, then you know you're fine. If you're trying to still get people to use it, the thing I would say to you is, what is the target? Who's the target market? So, and this is the thing for everybody with products, is like all the products that I know and have worked on, and my friends have worked on, all the stories that I've heard, all the products that went really big started out in some niche community or niche target group, which the founder had to go search for. And then once they found it, they grew really quickly in that, and then they ate out from there. So for example, Pinterest, Ben Silverman, the founder there, so, Pinterest actually was around for like 2 years and nobody was using it. And the basic idea was he couldn't figure out who needed like a random board that you could pin. And then he started looking at who was actually using the product at all. It was like 3 women, and all of them were really into crafts. And they were just pinning like craft ideas. And so what he decided to do was he went to meetup.com and he went to all of the craft events in San Francisco. So everything under the craft category, he just went to the meetup and he told people there about Pinterest. And that's how the initial user base was, just like crafts, because he found out that that's what people were using for. He found out who those people were, he grew in that user base, and then he ate out from there. So for you, I think it's a matter of like, who needs this, right? And then can you like just focus on getting those people? So when we've done searches in the past, like you're doing, we basically pick every 2 weeks, we'll pick a new target user. So we say, okay, we built this thing. First 2 weeks, I think it's this group of people. Madhu is like, I think it's this other group of people. I'm like, all right, cool. This first 2 weeks, we're all going to work on my group of people and see if we can get people to use it that way. And then after those 2 weeks, we're going to work on Madhu's group of people and see what that works that way. And basically, you can kind of tell like which group of people was it easier to sell to. And if you're not sure, and both groups seem kind of hard and you're not sure, you haven't found it. If you find the right group of people, it's like it just like grows, and it's like people are just like coming to you for it, right? So people talk about product market fit as in like you don't have it if you're pushing the boulder up the hill. You do have it if you are chasing the boulder down the hill. It's a real thing. Where it's just like so many people are signing up. You're just like, I mean, there's products that we've built where I literally wake up and I look at the number of users that signed up yesterday and I think there's a bug, and I spend half the day looking for the bug because I'm like, it's impossible. There's no way this many people signed up, and it turns out they did, right? So anyway, if I were you, I would kind of validate around kind of like, what is this target group of people?
Right.
Yep.
Okay, cool. Thanks.
Hey, we got a great question in the chat. What's the difference between validation and product market fit?
I guess they're very kind of like related, but kind of apart. Okay, product market fit I think is one of the most under like least understood terms that kind of like founders have, and for good reason, because I think it's like hard to define. Product market fit also happens in spurts. So I think sometimes people think of it as binary, as like you have it or you don't have it. It's not true. We think about product market fit as, do you have it within some group of people? So when companies grow, if you're not growing, you don't have product market fit in any group of people. Nobody wants your thing, basically, right? If you find product market fit in one group of people, you will grow in that group of people, but then your growth slows because you basically saturated that group of people. So then you need to find product market fit in another group of people, and that's when you see growth. So actual growth comes from finding product market fit in like a bunch of different groups of people, and that will step ladder your growth kind of going forward. Validation to me is like, is this an idea worth pursuing or not? And yes, if you can find product market fit, then that's probably a reason for kind of like figuring out kind of validation. But I don't think of them as kind of like necessarily the same. I think of validation as almost kind of like before. I don't know if that helps.
Okay, Ryan Chan, you're next.
Yep, thanks. So I'm from Finex. Finex is envisioning to be the main app by QuickBooks for Southeast Asia, helping individuals to manage their financial better by planning, tracking, and growing their finance in one view. So The problem that we are solving is for those young working individuals, aged 25 to 35, they are tracking their personal expenses on Excel and notebook, which can be done automatically via open banking technology with our partners. Then the solution for us is we provide an app or platform for users to integrate their banks and e-wallets to automatically put financial data from their credit cards and bank account into a simplified dashboard. So that's what we are doing.
Have you built it yet, or you haven't built it?
The app is building, so it's nearly completed. We'll be planning to release it on Q1.
Okay. Public service announcement for everybody. You don't need to build apps to validate stuff. Every time we get an application and people are like, oh, I'm like, hey, have you validated it? They're like, oh, we're building an app and it's happening in Q1. I automatically reject them. Don't wait. Don't wait, right? Like for you right now, gosh, okay. I sometimes think about like, I don't know if there's Harry Potter fans. I sometimes think of dark arts or like, I'm gonna share slight dark arts, okay? So don't, oh God, this is recorded, Mother, this is gonna be horrible. Please don't do this as like a real company. Please be responsible. Don't do crazy stuff. You don't actually need to build your app, I don't think. And the reason why is you can just Wizard of Oz this thing. If somebody signs up and they're like, hey, I want you to categorize my transactions or whatever. Oh my God, I can't believe I'm going to say this on a recorded podcast. You can log in as them and download their transactions and categorize it for them and send it back to them. Right? Software is only for scale. You don't have scale yet because you don't have users, right? So like you can deliver the best possible experience by doing stuff manually to a small set of users. And if it turns out that a lot of people want the thing, then build the software, right? But you don't actually have a scale problem yet. So like, can you deliver the experience you want to by doing stuff manually first? And I think the reason why that's like a much better way than writing the software is you're assuming this is what people want and you're building on it. Q1 is like forever ago. By the way, we used to launch new products every week. So Q1 is like an eternity. You could launch in Q1 and look, if it ends up being a big deal and you're super successful, great. But if it isn't, then you're back to the drawing board after having spent, I don't know how many months and how much money building this app, right? So like, that's just not an investment I'm willing to make on limited kind of information. So I would just try to do stuff. Can you deliver the experience you're looking for manually to a small subset of users to make sure that they want it first? You could also do the landing page, paid marketing, drive users, like you can build that wait list. So either of those. Okay, sorry, please, God, I can't believe I just told people to log in with other people's bank account information. It's horrible, but you get my point, right? Like you can actually do it. Yeah. Okay.
Thank you so much. Yeah, it's very useful.
Yep.
Okay, next is Ryan Quack. We have like 3 or 4 Ryans on this.
Yeah,
Okay.
I think I happen to be the third Ryan in this call. Yeah, so hi everyone, hi Hsu Ken. Yeah, so hi everyone. So the problem is I think traditionally private real estate investments. So imagine like your office buildings in Melbourne CBD or lucrative assets like student hostels are only accessible to the high net worth or accredited investors, or in some countries, sophisticated investors. But today, I think with blockchain technology, it presents an opportunity to, this might sound a bit cliche, but to democratize this market, I would say. And it is an avenue to tap the retail market. So the people, so anyone from imagine fresh grads, teachers, to your trainers, doctors, lawyers, etc., can own a piece of quality real estate anywhere in the world.
Sorry, how does your solution make this happen? Because there's laws basically that make it so people can't do this stuff, right? So how does your solution get around those laws?
Right. So the solution is, all right, imagine for private funds, the way it's structured is usually with an SPV. So it didn't make sense for the traditional firms to reach out to too many people because the administrative costs, including legal, accounting fees, is just too high. So for us, what we are planning to do is with blockchain, we can actually code smart contracts and use these smart contracts to trigger transactions and get investors in. So we can create literally like a liquid market that is transparent for even the most illiquid assets that you imagine. So for example, like I said, the real estate.
Yeah, like I get how it works, right? But this is sometimes my critique with all blockchain stuff. People are too too interested in the technology rather than the actual problem itself. The real thing you need to figure out is, do all these people who don't invest in these assets actually want to invest in these assets? Actually, doesn't matter if it's on blockchain, doesn't matter if it, like, that's part of the solution, right? Like, the first thing you need to figure out is, do these people want to invest in these assets? So who are they and what assets do they want to invest in? That's the real thing you want to validate, right? So to me, it's like, you want to come up with a list of, it's a pair. So it's like this type of people, these types of assets, and you don't know what the right configuration of the pairs are. And so you need to start doing tests on the configuration. So is it like, I don't know, middle income people in Sydney really want to invest in commercial real estate, but can't for X reason? Okay, can you make a page that basically offers them the opportunity to do that? And as part of them signing up and stuff, you get, I don't know, you should get some information on kind of like, how much do they want to invest and what is their kind of like expected returns that they're looking for and all that stuff. But you basically want to figure out like, is there anybody who wants this set of things regardless of blockchain? Don't even talk about the blockchain, because that probably scares them in the first part. Just find out like, is there a group of people who want to invest in these assets that currently cannot? Who are those people and what are the assets, right? And you can present those ideas, I think, through like websites and kind of like making a web page and like that kind of stuff. But yeah, but I would focus on that.
Yeah, so basically a landing page kind of test.
That, by the way, this is why my validation program is basically all about how to do this like paid marketing landing page thing, because it's like kind of the Swiss Army knife of like how to kind of like do a bunch of this. There's lots of other ways to test stuff, but it's like a good first step because you get the demographic information and you can target and you can test. So it's like a good petri dish.
Cool.
Okay.
Yeah, that's very Thank you.
We'll give you a quick minute to like have your drink. Okay. We have the last 5 that I scheduled, and then we'll probably like kind of go to a bit of like audience interaction. Is that okay, Hsu Ken?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Next, we have Jamie Yao.
Hi. Yeah. Hi, Hsu Ken. My name is Jamie. So I'm from Empathly. Empathly is the Grammarly for online abuse, because online abuse is growing and platforms are under a lot of pressure to keep their users and employees safe. However, most solutions online are very reactive and they actually don't stop the problem from growing. So for us, we offer an API for online communities to proactively prevent hate speech before it's sent.
Got it. Okay. So your customers are online communities?
Yeah, so we actually have offerings for 2 sides. The first is customer service agents, where we protect them from, harmful and abusive customers. The other, which is, you're completely right, online communities that have a lot of trouble in moderating content.
Online communities, I think, is going to be a hard initial sell, just because you almost have to do it to like, you have to sell to the platform, and the platform is really hard, right? It's like,
right.
You're going to try to sign up Reddit, like, good luck.
No,
right?
That's
so
crazy, right?
I think customer service is an easier case to be. If it's customer service, you can do the LinkedIn Alfred thing and basically target like customer service. I don't know who's the right person to target, but whoever's in charge of customer service, I would look for those job titles in LinkedIn and then reach out to them and see if you can get on calls with them, right? So for all these direct sales kind of idea for everybody, use the LinkedIn to generate kind of like leads, and then you try to work on the funnel of like, try to get them on a call, try to get them to kind of sign up for this thing or like whatever. You don't actually need to have this built, by the way, in order to start selling it. I think this is like a weird thing. This is very common in Silicon Valley, but I feel like in Southeast Asia, and it's like people are a little bit more uncomfortable with it. In Silicon Valley, we sell so much stuff that we have never built and have never kind of like worked out before, because we're just trying to figure out if it's something that people want. I think it's a little bit kind of like worrisome to people here, but like, it's totally fine. Just start selling it like tomorrow.
Right. Okay.
and I think the act of talking to them and trying to get them in, selling to them and figuring out having these conversations will give you a lot of insight into like how you should shape the product and what their problem is.
And would you say like position papers help in this LinkedIn outreach?
What are position papers?
Oh, so it's like a pamphlet, I think. So my co-founder, he recently went to TrustCon in US, and they gave a lot of pamphlets, for example, like content moderation teams. Then you have a pamphlet that shows you your business proposal.
Test it. Test it, right?
Test it.
I mean,
Just do it.
yeah,
Just
test
try
it.
it. Yeah.
Yeah, just try it, right? I mean, I could give you my opinion, but I don't know, right? You could just test it, right? So for 20 people, send them the pamphlet, and 20 people don't send them the pamphlet, and see how many more people reply to you.
Interesting.
Right?
Got it.
It's
Yeah.
also a stage thing that you need to think about. Like in LinkedIn, if it's like, okay, if I give somebody a pamphlet right off the bat, are they going to think that I'm like spammy? So do I like talk to them first, and then my second message is the pamphlet? I don't know. You can figure it out, but
Okay. Yeah, we'll try it out. Thanks.
yeah, yeah.
Okay, next, Ganesh.
Hey, hello. So sorry.
Hello.
Hey, okay, yeah. So we're building a community-first CRM and analytics tool. In short, we aspire to be the HubSpot in the Web3 space by aggregating on-chain, so transactions that happen on the blockchain and off-chain data from channels such as like Discord, Telegram, and Twitter. We are able to provide deep insights that basically help Web3 brands onboard, activate, and engage users.
Okay, wait. Sorry. You integrate. How do you give insights to Web3 brands?
Okay, so currently for the current Web2 tools like HubSpot, they don't integrate on-chain data transactions that happen on the blockchain. So basically, we are able to track some of the wallets, integrate these social channels into the wallet. So we build you a user persona, and now communicate this back to the community channels or the brands to help them segment their audience.
Okay, wait. So who is your like initial target market?
NFT project owners, DAOs, preferably.
Okay. I mean, similar kind of thing here. It's like, do people want this or not? Right. And so, you know, I feel like all these NFT projects, they all have Discords and stuff. So we had a company in the previous batch. One of the growth mechanics is they just joined all the Discords that they could find, and then they just found out who was running it, and they just like DM'd the person who was running it.
Yeah, I think maybe let me rephrase that. I think it's for guys who already have this channel. So let's say like 5K, 10K users. Now you don't know where these users are coming from. Plus you don't know who these people are and how much their spending power is. So by not knowing that, you have a community which is kind of really like a blank space over here. So how would you take like a 10K user count to 20K, right? That's currently the difficulty in the space. So that's where a tool like this comes in to provide you insights to help you engage and activate your audience better.
But it still seems like the people who run those communities have their own Discord, and you can go in and message them and ask them if they want to use your tool, right?
We pull the insights from Discord, Twitter, Telegram, and Wallet.
So sorry, I understand what you do. What I'm saying is the target market that you're using, the people who are like using your end product are people who run these Discords, right? Because they have
Exactly,
NFT. Right. So you can just join their Discords and message them.
Oh yeah, for validating it, right? Yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah.
Right. And then just like do that and see what if like if people will talk to you and how like just start doing it.
Just one quick question, right? Do you think it's worth building out screens to show workflow while doing this? Because the tool does sound slightly complex when explaining.
No, honestly, what I would do is I wouldn't build anything. Like if I could convince somebody to do this, I would just do the work that you're saying. I would just try to do it manually or hack it together with like, I don't know, scripts or whatever you're trying to do. It doesn't need to be like automated. It doesn't need to be any of that kind of stuff. Because again, you don't have, I think you don't have customers yet, right? So first step, get one customer. And if you can get one customer, then do the analysis for them and deliver them that product, right? I mean, which is basically the analysis on what you're saying.
Gotcha. In your opinion, what would you consider as traction? So we have a few brands who are interested in something like this, but we are also trying to understand what would get us to the next stage of funding.
There's no answer to this. This is the most common question that everybody asks, and there's no answer to this. There's no magic numbers, guys. There's no revenue target that you have to hit. There's nothing, right? So very hard to kind of like answer this question. What it's going to come down to is, like, for example, we've invested in companies with zero traction, literally haven't done anything. And we invested in those companies because we thought what they were doing was so interesting, right? I've also not invested in companies with millions of dollars in revenue because I thought what they were doing was so uninteresting. So on some level, it's a mix of like and I guess I wrote a whole blog post about this. If an investor really thinks what you're doing is interesting, you don't have to show as much validation or traction. If they don't, you need to show more to convince them that this is actually something interesting. So it really kind of depends on the investor and kind of like what you're working on and stuff. So hard to kind of like say, right?
Understand. Thank you so much. Really appreciate it.
Yeah. Good luck.
Okay. Sani?
Hey.
Oh, echo.
Hey.
Still echo.
Is it better now?
Yep.
Yeah.
There you go.
Awesome. So the idea that I'm trying to pitch is a dating app that's driven by experience.
Are you Singaporean?
Malaysian.
Ah, dang it. I have this internal joke that Singaporeans always pitch dating apps like a crazy amount. So, but you just broke my rule, so it's okay.
Damn it. But yeah, I mean, the idea that I'm trying to explore really is an experience-driven dating app rather than a image, or like rather than a photo. So the argument is guys are able to post photos with experiences, and the focus will be the experience, and the opposite party is able to swipe right or left based on the experience, and then they turn up for a date within 24 hours. So so it doesn't take too long to convert onto a date, really.
So is the idea here that like I'll be going through and I'm just actually like, I don't know if the mechanic's actually swiping, but I'll be saying yes or no to a specific activity, and then you're going to match me with other people who have also like that activity?
Correct. And that's done and you do that within 24 hours. So, you don't take a long time to build that.
Great. You don't have to build a single thing. Get people on your list, send them an email, ask them to give in the email, have a list of all the activities, ask which ones they're interested in, get everybody's responses, put it all in a spreadsheet, and find matches, and then send the matches out to people. That's it.
All right. So we just find some mailing list from the internet and we just
you should try to get your own list, right? Like who wants this? Who's the type of person you're looking for? Try to get your own list. So try to get signups and stuff, but you absolutely don't need to build like, I don't know, what day is today? Today's Wednesday. I could probably be organizing dates by next week for sure.
Awesome.
Right?
Okay,
like think about who your target market is, try to run some ads to get people, or just send it on your Facebook, like post it on your Facebook or Instagram and be like, I'm running an experiment. I'm going to set up people on dates for activities. Sign up here. You're going to get an email from me. You just tell me what activities you like. I'll match you with people. That's it.
Cool. All right. Yeah. Perfect. That works.
Hey, which part of Malaysia are you from?
KL.
Ah, okay. I'm from Penang.
Ah, nice. Yeah. All right.
Cool. Good luck.
Thanks. Bye.
Okay, we have the last two. Safat, are you there?
Hello. Yeah.
All right.
Can you guys hear me and see me?
Yeah.
Hello, Hsu. Hello, everyone.
Hey.
I'm Safat from Bangladesh. My company name is Alldoc. At Alldoc, we are trying to build an all-in-one web-based accounting software for earlier stage businesses where they do not have accountants or any accounting software to manage their financial documents and like keep them in pipeline and they produce reports. And the way we are designing our software is like bringing that sort of easy user experience and putting the technical accounting part in the backend.
Okay, so you're making accounting software that the accountants at the companies use, or like the person who runs the company can use it?
It's quite interesting. Like we are putting the 4th version in the market right now, and the 3rd version we build for accountants. And when we push for sales into the market, the 4th version, the non-accountants guys started to buy our services. So like I have like 3 paying customers right now in last 3 weeks, and the users are like business development people. They're like partially accountant, admin guys. They're actually trying to get our services for themselves, and they're trying to move from Excel and Word to our services to build invoices and manage their accounts.
Okay, so you actually have a product that exists and all that kind of stuff already.
Yeah.
Okay. I feel like for everybody who's asking about products that they've already kind of built, I feel like you're just in growth mode where you just got to figure out how to grow and figure out if this is like an idea that people want, right? So it's just like the last person who went with the dating idea, he didn't build anything, and so I gave him a way to do it without building anything. You've already built something, so. Yeah. But I think it's a similar thing. You got to figure out what your who your target market is and what they care about, and like that's kind of the main thing. But I don't know if you don't need a validation idea because you've already built a thing, so you just need to sell your product. So I don't know.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah. But by the way, you can. I don't know what LinkedIn Bangladesh penetration is, but you could do the LinkedIn Alfred thing. Just find SMEs.
Thank you.
Okay, Charles.
Yeah, hi. My name is Charles from Nigeria.
Hey.
Yeah. Okay, so I have a sister another sister who used to be a content creator 5 years ago. Then I usually help her to make these videos and edit them as much as I could. And then after we post it on a social page on TikTok, that was when TikTok started around 2016, when Miss Clay bought the company and renamed it to TikTok. So then she usually creates this content almost every day, and then we post it on her page. But the struggle became the fact that she was not able to, there wasn't impressions on this content. You know, the content doesn't have reach, there wasn't visibilities, and at best only her friends and a few couple of persons can see it. Also meant that she couldn't monetize this content. So, and then again, she wasn't the only one having this challenge. Some of her friends were having the same challenge. Some of her friends were having the same challenge. But then at that time, I couldn't do much, right? Aside from just, helping her to edit those videos and post it online. So she's now a nurse, but 3 years after that, those same challenges are still present. Like most of the content creators in Africa don't have reach for their contents, and they struggle with content monetization. And even when they're able to monetize these contents, cashing out their earnings become nearly impossible. Like 45 countries in Africa, out of the 54 countries we have in Africa, cannot use PayPal to cash out their earnings. They can't use PayPal, they can't use Stripe. So why these companies have operations in most of the African countries?
Wait, sorry, what's your idea? I feel like it's a very long, like what is the actual idea?
Okay, so the idea is building a Web3 powered social network for upcoming creators and creators from Africa. So the problem we are solving with CoralPlay is content monetization, whereby upcoming creators and African creators can be able to monetize their contents better, right? And then there's also the ease of withdrawing these earnings. And we are using a P2P payment solution to solve that problem of inability for these content creators from this part of the region to monetize to cash out their earnings, to monetize and cash out their earnings. And the value propositions that we have is they're big for creators.
How do you help people monetize? How do you help people monetize?
Yeah, we are creating, the intention is to have a organized creator fund support program. So it's compatible with crypto and blockchain. So we are going to be able to use our crypto to build a support fund.
No.
And then
you're just telling me how you're going to do it. Like, how does that help people make money? How does that help creators make money?
Come again, sorry?
How does that help creators make money? Say it without crypto, say it without Web3, say it without buzzwords.
Okay, so with CoralPlay, creators can virtually do most of the things they can do on TikTok, whether it's by getting impressions on their content. So unlike having to have impressions on your content, all you need to do as a creator is to have enough audience retention. So let's say you just have 100 followers, right? And you have just 2 persons who watch your content. If that content is like a 2 minutes content and 2 of your followers are able to watch that content for up to 90 seconds, you get rewards for such content, and you can actually convert those rewards to fiat earnings. So this is one of the ways that creators can be able to make money. And we're also going to have certain kind of algorithms that helps creators to get their contents reach far and wide across the country and across the continent, so that they can get visibility for the content they put up.
This is hard because I don't really understand your product. You're saying a bunch of different things, and I don't really understand kind of like how it works. If you think it sounds like you're making a new social network for people to kind of post, which is like a different thing. But then monetization, helping creators monetize, is like a separate thing. And then I feel like you started saying a third thing. So like, can you be more specific?
Okay, so let me use TikTok as a point of reference. With TikTok, there are 4 primary ways that creators monetize their contents. The first being that they're able to grow their audience, and then brands can approach them to run ads or promotions. And the second being that they're also able to grow their contents and they can divert traffic to their side gigs, maybe another page where they have a side business that they are running. And the third way rather, is also through something like
we don't need a rundown of TikTok. I know how TikTok works. Here's my advice to you.
Okay.
The idea sounds convoluted. What I would try to figure out is which parts of the idea do people really want? So do the creators that you're talking about, do they really want help with the monetization part? Do they really want to be able to post on kind of like a different network? Like what are the different parts people are looking for? And then try to get, I think the main thing you're trying to figure out is what will creators kind of sign up for, right? So I think your target user is actually creators. You're building a product for creators. So you need to figure out what creators are kind of interested in, right? So to me, it's like, okay, you need to figure out whether it's like micro creators or kind of like it probably can't be the famous ones. They don't need help with this, right? So if it's the micro ones, what are the biggest problems that they have, and how do you kind of work on those, and which of these products are you trying to figure out? It just sounds like there's just like products within products. And so I think you need to kind of untangle them and be like, okay, this is one product, this is another product, this is another product. Then you can run validation tests on each of those products. But I think it's just tricky to kind of like help, because I feel like they're all kind of like mixed into one, right? Like, for example, the dating guy, his product was like very straightforward. He's like, hey, it's a dating thing. You choose activities. I match people based on activities. Done. No need for background of TikTok, no need for story of whatever. Like you want to get to that level of like conciseness, and then you can kind of like work on that. If you do kind of get to that level of conciseness, or you figure out what the products are, feel free to email me, and then I can kind of help you with the validating part. But I think it's hard to validate unless I have a better understanding of that. Here, just for everybody on the call, this is my email. If you need help, email me. Like, everybody's welcome. Sorry, I can't be more help. I feel like we just need to figure out what the product is a little bit more.
Okay.
All right, Madhu.
Yeah.
Kind of reached like the top of the hour. Should we just have like 3 or 4 questions? I think there were a few before we go. Sure. Judy, do you want to like unmute and ask yours?
Oh, hi, this is Judy. I'm from Korea. And thank you for the bubble tea, which I'll get later. But
Madhu, why are you giving out bubble tea just for like free? Like I'm taking that out of your salary, by the way. You're not just like free bubble tea for people.
Well, I had a question for Ken. You mentioned a lot about like landing page, Google, Facebook ad validation, which is very common, like prototype. But is that actually working well in Southeast Asia? And I was asking because online marketing through Google, like Facebook, they're all in crisis. And, now they're saying it's like, those ads don't work anymore. So it is actually impacting startups when they do prototyping, because the data doesn't really show like it used to be. So yeah, I was just curious, like, is this still working in Southeast Asia, and if it doesn't, do you think there will be new way of doing this landing page online marketing thing?
Honestly, all the paid marketing tests work even better in Southeast Asia. The amount of money it cost me to run these ads in the US was like 10x what it cost me in Southeast Asia. Ad prices in Southeast Asia are probably 1/10 of the United States. It's insane.
Oh,
right?
Wow.
And so when I got here, I was like, oh my God. Like, I literally did this landing page thing, and I think I got 10,000 users signups in like 2 months or a month for probably like, I think when I started initially, it was like 10. Okay, since we talked a lot about this, and I'm going to cover this in the validation program. If you want me to go in really deep, just sign up for that. I'm going to literally have a whole curriculum on this. But when I first started doing it, my cost per acquisition was like $10, which is high. And after working on it for like 2 or 3 weeks, I got it down to about 60 cents, right? And so, I could kind of get quite a bit of like traction kind of that way. I actually think I probably could have got it down to like 20 cents if I really wanted to, but 60 cents was like good enough. And so I actually just started running the product itself, just manually myself. So I don't think all the stuff that's happening with Google and Facebook and all that, they're fantastic businesses, and they're not going to be, it's not going to affect kind of like the stuff that we do for a while. So I think it's completely fine. Even if those went away, you can try to be more creative with how to drive people to those websites and stuff. So typical ways that you can kind of like drive people to websites. And this is why you guys will notice that every time people ask me, I ask them what the target user is, because validation is all about like, who's your target user? How do you reach them? And how do you kind of like present what you're building? For almost any target group, they exist on the internet somewhere. So you just need to figure out where that is and go to that place. So maybe a funny story, my friend used to do this, he's actually quite successful, but he used to do this. He used to go on Reddit and just look at obscure subreddits and build products around them. So for example, this wasn't a VC back thing, but I think he was making like 10,000 USD a month off of the stupid thing he made. So there's a subreddit that is called Check My Form. And literally all it is a subreddit where people take photos of when they're working out to make sure that they have the right form, because obviously form is very important. And then people on the subreddit are like, oh no, you want to like bend your knees more, you want to do whatever. It's literally the entire subreddit. So he made an app that is literally just for checking your form. And he charges like $1 for somebody to check your form. And he just posted it in the subreddit, and then tons of people sign up because the subreddit is literally what his product is, right? So I think even if you can't do paid marketing, you can find these online communities where this stuff exists, right? Or you can go there, like lots of consumer social stuff targets universities, just like go to the universities, right? So anyway, you can kind of do lots of ways to kind of find it. But does that help, Judy?
Yeah, and I also think like no code is going to be a really great advantage with the whole like landing page thing in Southeast Asia, if that's working.
Totally.
Like
and actually, guys,
and all that. Yeah.
Yeah, and you can go further. You can build products without, like, look, I'm an engineer, I can code. I never do that anymore as like a first instinct. I literally only write code when we're like thousands to 10,000s of users. Maybe a quick story on validation. So I ran a on-demand blue-collar staffing platform when I first got to Singapore. This is the one that I got like 10,000 signups for. So I basically did a landing page with part-timers, like people who wanted these like jobs that are on demand. And then I had a landing page for restaurants and events and all that kind of stuff for those businesses and got them. So rather than go after both sides at the same time, I just went after the part-timers first, because I figured if I can get part-timers on, I could go to the business and be like, I got 10,000 part-timers, do you want some? So for the part-timers, I did paid marketing, and I basically targeted college students in Singapore, and like a bunch of them signed up or whatever. I also found out that elderly people in Singapore also want these jobs. So I had these two things going. Got them to sign up. I got probably a couple thousand signups. I went to the businesses. I literally just went on Yelp and I got their phone numbers in Google Maps. And I just started calling them. I was like, do you need part-timers? I have 3,000. I can get you some by like tomorrow. And I just like cold called them, got them on a list, added them on WhatsApp, got them to message me the jobs on WhatsApp. I took the job descriptions on WhatsApp and I just SMS'd them through Twilio through a script to all of the people who like signed up as part-timers. First person that replied me yes, I marked it down in a spreadsheet and I connected the business and the part-timer on WhatsApp and then left it. And I think I was doing like 40,000, 50,000 in GMV in like marketplace value, just like literally through a spreadsheet, SMSing people and adding them on WhatsApp. I could have built an app, but like, why? Right? Like I want to test this stuff out first and I want to work out the kinks. And so maybe that's a good example for people to just like think about how to kind of like run their ideas without building. Yeah.
Okay, that's awesome. Thank you. I think we're kind of at the top of it. So thank you everyone for joining. That was awesome. Do you guys have like, I don't know, just like thumbs up, thumbs down, middle, like rough like gauge of how it was? Like, so if you thought it was good, thumbs up. If not, like mid, if not bottom. We take like all criticism. So like,
by the way, if there's enough thumbs down votes, Madhu is going to be on performance review plan. So please be honest. This was his idea.
Yeah, I was like, you got to do this. Let's do this.
Okay, I think it's pretty positive, Madhu. I think you're safe.
Okay, I'm okay for this week.
I think you're okay for this week. We'll see you by next week.
Okay. Does anyone, just like quick take, does anyone want another one of this, like another edition? I don't know, you can invite your friends or something. Okay, cool. I will probably just send you guys an email after this, and maybe we'll do another one. Okay. Thank you everyone for coming. It was great. Thank you to all the brave souls who kind of stood up and took the feedback as well. We might see you another time, right? So thanks a lot.